I'm excited to talk to you about how we can help you lead your organization and your customers into the era of AI, all using the Microsoft Cloud. Let's start with the world today. Things all around us are changing rapidly, and organizations need to adapt. This is nothing new. If you look back just a few years, we saw that organizations that had already invested in their own digital foundation were able to weather the disruption of the pandemic better than their peers, with many of them emerging even stronger than before. We believe we're on the cusp of a similar inflection point today. The pressures today are different. The global workforce is shrinking, productivity is stagnant, and security threats emerge and evolve faster than ever. But the pace of change hasn't slowed. Technology is advancing incredibly quickly, grabbing headlines every day. Experiences based on large language models like ChatGPT have taken the world by storm, in part because they draw from a vast source of data, leveraging the massive computing power available today in the cloud. We've seen this technology break through with consumers. It's not just for tech anymore. As a result, you can expect your employees to start demanding these kinds of experiences in the tools they use each day. Similarly, your customers will quickly come to expect AI capabilities in the services you offer if they don't already. But there's a third element that's really exciting right now, and that's the tangible impact technology like this can drive. It's real, and organizations across industries are seeing the benefits of AI today. CarMax, for example, deployed the Azure OpenAI service on top of its vast customer review database and can quickly generate unique summaries for the cars available on their website. Progressive is using AI-powered chatbots to save $10 million every year as their bots answer up to 200,000 queries each month with personalized, intelligent text-based responses. And EY is using intelligent document automation with its clients in its new contract auditing service, saving clients an average of 250,000 hours of manual work. So with the world changing, technology advancing, and the potential for real, meaningful impact, the opportunity is yours to lead the AI transformation. How your organization sees the full potential of AI while safeguarding your business, your data, and your employees. That's where Microsoft can help. Our mission at Microsoft is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And as we enter the age of AI, that mission matters more than ever. We are called upon to empower the world's organizations to lead the AI transformation for a new era, and we have the track record to help you do it. We've invested in fueling AI innovation for years. We've spent decades in research and development. We're committed to advancing the principles and practice of responsible AI. We've built security and trust into our platform and all of our solutions right from the start. We've created purpose-built AI infrastructure to deliver reliability and performance at scale for large AI models. In fact, Microsoft Azure provides the AI infrastructure in the cloud based on thousands of interconnected GPUs and InfiniBand networking, necessary to offer reliability at scale to build these types of transformational AI models. And as a result, we're trusted by AI leaders like OpenAI. In fact, OpenAI builds and trains all of their AI models and experiences using the unique AI infrastructure of Microsoft Azure. This innovation is exciting, and I'm thrilled to share more with you over the course of this talk. But as AI is poised to transform our lives, we must collectively define new rules, norms, and practices for the use and impact of this technology. And that's why we began our responsible AI journey back in 2017. We believe that the development and deployment of AI must be grounded in an ethical framework. In 2018, we set out our view that there are 6 core principles that should guide the work around AI. But it's not enough to just define these principles. We need to operationalize them at scale as well. And we're focused on 4 key areas to help put these principles into action. First, you need governance. Second, you need the rules to standardize requirements. Third, you need training and best practices. And fourth, you need the tools to implement and follow all of those. And we'll talk more about some of this tooling later on and how we're baking it directly into our platform. But for now, let's ask the question, how can you get started? And that's where we come back to Microsoft's mission and what we've built with the Microsoft Cloud. Now, the Microsoft Cloud is unique in both the breadth and the depth of the cloud solutions we provide. You can use each of our cloud solutions on a standalone basis, or take advantage of the seamless way we've integrated and architected them to work well together. And with the Microsoft Cloud, we're going to enable you to use AI to drive transformation within your organizations and for your customers. And we're doing this in two ways. First, we're helping you radically accelerate employee productivity and capability by leveraging transformational AI that is built into every Microsoft Cloud solution. And second, we're delivering the tools and services you need to build your own AI transformational apps and services using Azure. And the Microsoft Cloud runs on trust. Trust has been a fundamental promise that we've built into the Microsoft Cloud since the very beginning. Data is the fuel that powers AI technology, and you must trust what your technology partners are doing with your data. There are three fundamental promises that we're making with the Microsoft Cloud. That is our commitment to our customers and to you. First, your data is your data. It's not our data. That means the customer owns it and controls it, and ultimately they get to decide how they want to leverage it, who they want to give access to it, and how they want to monetize it. Second, your data is not used to train or enrich the foundational AI models used by others. And this is going to be incredibly important in the world going forward. You don't have to worry about anyone other than your own organization benefiting from the AI that's trained on top of your data. Only your organization benefits from your data and business processes. And third, your data and AI models are protected at every step by the most comprehensive enterprise compliance and security controls in the industry. This is Microsoft's commitment to you, and that commitment should give you the confidence to leverage the power of AI to transform your businesses. Now let's go deeper now and talk about some of the work we're doing to radically accelerate productivity using AI built into the Microsoft Cloud services. Let's start with how we're building and bringing AI capabilities to life to power digital and application innovation. Now we're living in a world where every organization across every industry is becoming a technology company, and every organization is developing apps and solutions to power their business. GitHub Enterprise provides developers with an integrated developer platform that they can use to collaborate, automate, and secure their DevOps solutions. GitHub is used and loved by more than 100 million developers around the world today, and is now trusted by more than 90% of the Fortune 100 companies in the world to run their businesses. Now, one of the most exciting new capabilities we've recently launched with GitHub is a new service we call GitHub Copilot. Copilot was the first solution built using the new transformational large AI models developed by OpenAI. And Copilot provides an AI pair programmer that works with all of the popular programming languages, and that dramatically accelerates developer productivity. Developers using Copilot see a 55% productivity boost when working on real-world projects and tasks. Let's take a look at a video of GitHub Copilot in action today.
Let's see how Copilot can make me a more productive developer. I'm using Django Python, which, like most programming languages and frameworks, is supported by Copilot. Django is a framework for creating line-of-business applications, and the first step is to create my model classes, which is typically tedious. What I'm going to do instead is describe, using natural language, what I need my model to look like. That gray italicized text is Copilot generating the appropriate code. It creates the class definition and the full class across multiple lines of code. Copilot is also context aware. It saw the fact that I created a speaker class, and once again goes, well, speakers need to do something, and it generates a talk class for me. That entire class, all of those lines of code, was generated for me automatically by Copilot. There was one thing I didn't necessarily want here, which is it's allowing for speakers and talks all to be deleted. I want to modify that, so I go back to Copilot, ask it for a new suggestion, and it generates one. Finally, I want to add on a code for the talk which matches a particular pattern. Normally at this point, I would go running off to Stack Overflow to look up how to write this regular expression. Instead, I describe in natural language what that pattern is supposed to look like, and Copilot generates all of the appropriate code for me. This allows me to stay in the zone and focus in on the more important aspects of writing code.
That video showed you a brief look at how GitHub Copilot transforms developers' creation of code. In fact, up to 40% of all lines of code written by developers using Copilot are now fully AI generated. In measured tests by third parties, we found that developers using Copilot are 55% more productive in completing tasks and applications. But even more striking to me is what developers think about the Copilot experience. They love it. 74% of developers using Copilot report feeling that they can now focus on more satisfying work and enjoy their jobs more. Debugging and looking up regular expressions is not a super satisfying thing. By having that work automated using AI, developers can instead focus on things that make them feel more satisfied, complete their work faster, and feel more productive. And this is really transformational in terms of how development teams work. GitHub Copilot for Business is generally available now for all developers to use today with all developer languages on all platforms and with all types of developer tools. Let's move on now and talk about some of the great AI work we're also doing in our modern work area. We're all spending a lot more time now conducting meetings online or in a hybrid meeting setting, and we're working to continually improve the meeting experience. Built on the familiar all-in-one collaboration experience of Teams, Teams Premium makes every meeting more personalized, intelligent, and secure. These capabilities work whether it's for one-on-ones or town halls, virtual appointments, to webinars. Empowered by AI, Intelligent Meeting Recap helps individuals focus on what matters most. Intelligent Recap automatically generates meeting notes and tasks, calls out important moments in the timeline of the meeting, and automatically generates chapters so you can understand the content of a meeting discussion. Let's take a look.
With Intelligent Recap, you'll see a personalized snapshot with insights to help you discover information that matters most to you. It uses AI to assign tasks and provides context for how the task was captured, and you can accept the task directly in Meeting Recap, or even during the meeting when the task is first identified and proposed. You can easily navigate meeting recordings with auto-generated chapters to help you understand the content of a meeting discussion. Meeting recordings will automatically call out key moments, such as when your name was mentioned, a screen was shared, and when you left the meeting. You can also easily share a link from a particular timestamp or a chapter of the recording, making it easy to collaborate with related stakeholders who weren't in the meeting.
Now let's talk about business applications. Every organization is looking to drive more efficiency, reduce costs, and create a more connected business. Dynamics 365, Power Platform, and solutions like Viva Sales enable you to do just that. With Microsoft's business application solutions, you can create impact faster, break through the barriers that silo your business data, adapt and be more agile, and innovate everywhere across your business. Across the business applications portfolio, we're leveraging AI capabilities to make it easier to drive meaningful customer experiences. Today, I want to highlight some particularly innovative AI capabilities we're adding to Viva Sales. Viva Sales is designed to help sellers reduce unnecessary form input, connect data they need to do their job efficiently, and ultimately close sales faster. Viva Sales now gives sales reps the AI capabilities that enable personalized coaching and intelligence that help sellers push a deal to the next stage and ultimately close more deals. Viva Sales delivers a seamless experience that is built into the apps your team is already using, including Microsoft Teams and Outlook, and it works and connects directly to your CRM system, regardless of whether that is a Dynamics 365 or Salesforce-based CRM. Let's take a look at some of the new AI capabilities coming now to Viva Sales.
Karen is a busy relationship seller working every day with key accounts. When she receives an email from one of her clients asking for a proposal, naturally she jumps into action. In order to craft a well-written response, here is an example of what she would typically do. Karen would load the CRM system and navigate to the opportunity. She'd then review the product information and the notes, and then spend at least 15 minutes compiling a personalized response, including the right data points from CRM. However, there's a far more efficient way to carry out this action. Let's go back to the mail, and Karen can see a Viva Sales notification banner at the top offering help to craft a response. As she launches, she can see the new ChatGPT style experience, and Karen can see a selection of preset options to help her respond. As she selects, Make a proposal, Azure OpenAI automatically generates a suggested reply enriched with the content from the CRM data. It also includes key data from the email thread and generates a suggested response from the seller. As you can see, there's a mention of the product, the number of units, and the pricing, all seamlessly within the response. With the content complete, she can simply copy the message back to her email, make any minor adjustments to suit her style, and hit send. Not only is this far more efficient than crafting a message from scratch, Viva Sales can instantly store and update the insight back into CRM. With the contact records linked to Salesforce, we can ensure a better data capture, improve data hygiene, and build trust with the value of the information.
Just like you saw earlier with GitHub Copilot, we're using the large transformational AI models that we're building with OpenAI to dramatically improve text understanding and content creation, all working inside Outlook and automatically working with the data inside the CRM. Everything you saw in that video is now available to use with both Dynamics 365 and Salesforce-based CRM systems today. Now let's turn to data and AI. Last year, we introduced the Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform. This brings operational databases, analytics, and governance solutions together within Azure into one integrated platform, and in doing so helps reduce the integration tax that too often plagues data projects. In the Intelligent Data Platform, these data solutions are built to work together by design, so customers can focus their time on innovation at the pace that today's business climate demands. Let's zoom in on Power BI, which is one of the components of the Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform. Now, Power BI is now used by 97% of the Fortune 500, and we're bringing new AI capabilities into it that will help you find insights, make decisions, and take actions faster. Let's take a look at what Power BI will enable later this year.
With Azure OpenAI, Power BI users can generate calculations and business logic in seconds, rather than spending hours writing complex code. This not only accelerates time to insight, but it also helps all business users up-level their data analytics skills. Now, let's look at how Power BI uses Azure OpenAI service to help boost analyst productivity. This report has inspection data across hundreds of different stores. Because this visual shows inspections for each day, you'll notice that this time series data is very noisy. This makes it hard to see any trends for inspections that had issues and inspections that were okay. What I want to do is smooth out the noise and calculate a rolling average of inspection results. To do that, I usually need to write a complex formula language called DAX, but I don't have a ton of time to write the formula from scratch. I want to generate this business insight, but with minimal effort. Thankfully, Power BI can create the measure for me in a no-code, AI-powered experience called Quick Measures. Let's try it out. In the Quick Measures pane, I start by typing in rolling 28-day average of inspections, and then I click Generate. Almost instantly, Azure OpenAI has generated the DAX measure that I was looking for. This is game-changing for me because every day, managers like myself are looking for business insights and spending hours manually crafting the right business logic, where now in just seconds, I've created this calculation without writing a single line of code. Now that I have the measure that I was looking for, next I'll save the measure and I'll rename it to later use it in my report. I can now replace the old measure from that problematic visual with this new measure that I've recently created. With this new rolling average calculation, the trend becomes way more obvious. We see that inspections with okay results have trended downwards over time, but inspections with issues do not follow that same downward trend. Without this Azure OpenAI capability, I would not have been able to generate and analyze this complex trend so quickly and so easily. This is a huge boost for productivity, and this is one of the many examples of how organizations can harness the power of AI to drive business impact.
The advanced AI technology you saw in that Power BI demo is powerful because it is connected to your data systems. operational databases, analytics, and governance capabilities all working together to deliver AI with context. The Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform is going to enable you to deliver much faster data solutions and take advantage of the most advanced AI to find insights, make decisions, and take action across your organizations. Let's move to how we're now using AI to protect organizations as well, end-to-end with our security capabilities. Cyber attacks are becoming much more frequent and sophisticated, and organizations are often faced with a shortage of skilled security talent necessary to keep up with these attacks. And organizations increasingly need to worry not just about external attacks, but also internal risks from within the organization as well. In fact, 80% of organizations rate theft or loss of sensitive data as high-impact insider risk events. Microsoft Security helps use AI to decrease both external and internal risk. AI-powered solutions like Microsoft Purview Adaptive Protection is one way that we're doing this. Microsoft Purview Adaptive Protection leverages insider risk management machine learning to understand how users in an organization are interacting with data, identify risky activities that may result in data security incidents, and then automatically tailors data loss prevention controls based on the risk detected. Let's take a look at this capability in action.
So first, let's look at how easy it is to take an existing static DLP policy and make it adaptive. So to do that, I have an existing policy with a condition, and we can see that it's a static condition that's looking at sensitivity labels of files and using that to determine if the policy applies. Now to make it adaptive, I simply go down to add a condition, select user risk level for adaptive protection is, and now I can choose which risk levels I want to bind to this policy. And that's it. The system will automatically identify users that enter that risk level and bind them to this policy. Now, what's happening behind the scenes to be able to identify those risky activities? Now, to do that, I'll go over to Insider Risk Management, and I really just want to highlight two of the many models we have in the system. First is what we call the sequencing model. So this is where we can identify the full context around what a user did to help you understand intent. For example, this is a case where somebody came in, downloaded 45 files from a SharePoint site, including credit cards and files that have confidential labels. They renamed those files, then they printed them, then they deleted them. So this gives you a clear idea of intent. Somebody was trying to cover up their tracks and delete their tracks. So this model can be used to identify risk. Another model that we have is what we call the cumulative exfiltration anomaly detection. So this is used to detect what we call low and slow exfiltration, as opposed to bursty exfiltration, where somebody might take hundreds of files and try to exfiltrate that. So not only can this look across the time horizon and across the different exfiltration channels, everything from uploading to printing to copying to USB, and it takes that, builds a baseline, and then compares that to the rest of the organization and your specific peer groups to identify statistical anomalies so that we don't get in the way of people being productive and identify the truly anomalous risky activities. So these are just two of the many models we have in the system to help elevate data security and make it more effective through adaptive protection in Microsoft Purview.
Let's now talk about infrastructure, which is quite literally the foundation for everything that we've talked about so far today. To deliver on its potential, AI requires enormous scale and processing power. In fact, compute requirements for AI are expected to grow by 10 to 50 times, even more than today, as AI capabilities become even more sophisticated. And the best infrastructure for AI does not simply provide sheer power, it must also provide performance asynchronously and at scale. Microsoft has been architecting that infrastructure for many years now, and Microsoft Azure is now the best cloud platform for building high-ambition AI models. Azure's AI-optimized infrastructure is powering all of the AI innovation that you're already seeing from Microsoft. And Microsoft Azure is also fundamental to our partnerships with AI innovators like OpenAI, who built and run ChatGPT on Azure and trained the enormously advanced large AI models that are stunning the world right now. And Azure's differentiated infrastructure will be the processing power behind even more apps and services to come. Azure provides the most advanced offering of virtual machines, optimized to support AI workloads in the cloud. Azure's purpose-built AI infrastructure is designed to optimally handle everything from complex deep learning workloads, like large language models, to training and inference, making AI more accessible to organizations of all sizes. And the performance of high-end AI training can often be very sensitive. Azure's AI infrastructure gives speed and reliability at scale for these large AI models. In fact, Azure can process a single AI job running synchronously across tens of thousands of GPUs, all interconnected with InfiniBand networking at incredibly high reliability. Whether it's running Microsoft's own AI workloads or building out a cloud-based AI supercomputer for the development of OpenAI, Azure's AI infrastructure demonstrates proven supercomputing performance with the world's most advanced AI projects. Now let's turn to our industry clouds. In addition to the horizontal capabilities of the Microsoft Cloud, we're now also offering powerful industry-tailored solutions and workflows through our Cloud for Industry solutions. These enable organizations to realize breakthrough value and more easily achieve success. The AI experiences we've discussed today can become even more powerful when applied in industry scenarios and when we activate the expertise of our partner ecosystem. We work with partners including both systems integrators and ISVs to extend and enrich all of our industry clouds. By partnering with them to integrate their solutions and services with the Microsoft Cloud, our Microsoft Cloud for Industry solutions, and our Azure AI platform, we enable you to get business value even faster and with more confidence. Let me give you an example of an industry solution which we shared with the world at the NRF Retail Conference in New York in early 2023. Żabka is the largest modern convenience retail store chain in Poland. Together with Microsoft and our partner iFi, Żabka is launching nano stores offering autonomous, frictionless, unstaffed retail experiences to deliver the ultimate in convenience. This is made possible by iFi's real-time computer vision technology and the AI-powered deep learning solution that tracks the entire customer shopping funnel in real time. And all this points to new growth opportunities for Żabka as they continue to scale and innovate in the retail space. The innovation you've seen in these demos today is driven by Azure AI. Azure AI powers the transformational experiences at scale across the Microsoft Cloud. These statistics speak to just some of the monthly usage of AI being used to help accelerate productivity across every organization using the Microsoft Cloud today. Now I'd like to hand it over to John Montgomery, who will talk about how we're enabling every organization to build transformational AI-powered experiences like these into their own apps and solutions. John, over to you.
Thanks, Scott. As Scott said, for the remainder of this talk, we're going to focus on how you can build transformational experiences into your own apps and services using Azure AI. In the age of AI, intelligent app experiences become competitive differentiators. Increasingly, organizations are turning to cloud-native technologies and AI and machine learning to develop their mission-critical applications. These modern technologies and models provide organizations with the security, agility, and velocity required to scale and transform. Leveraging cloud apps and data and AI services is how every organization can stand out from the competition with intelligent apps built with AI. When we talk about Azure AI, it includes 4 core categories of AI capabilities, all informed by decades of Microsoft's research and development in this space. Azure Machine Learning, Cognitive Services, Azure AI Infrastructure, and our new Azure OpenAI service, which became generally available in January. With Azure's Cloud Application Platform, you can run intelligent cloud-native apps with Azure Kubernetes Service or gain the productivity and rapid time-to-market benefits of Platform as a Service with App Service. Apps running on AKS or App Service can easily and natively embed Azure AI services. Let's dig a little deeper on Azure OpenAI Service. Azure OpenAI Service enables developers and organizations to access and use the most advanced AI models in the world, including GPT 3.5, Codex, and DALL-E 2. These large-scale generative AI models with deep understanding of language and code can be used for a variety of use cases, including writing assistance, code generation, and reasoning over data for inferencing. The AI solutions in the videos we showed earlier in this talk are all built using Azure AI and these same AI models. You will also soon be able to access ChatGPT, a fine-tuned version of GPT 3.5 that has been trained and runs on Azure AI infrastructure through our Azure OpenAI service. If you've tried ChatGPT on the web and found it amazing, imagine what it would be like to embed it within your own apps and experiences, and to be able to customize it on your own data. Azure OpenAI Service allows you to use supported OpenAI models as is, or adapt and customize the AI models to meet your specifications with labeled data for your specific scenario using a simple REST API or using the model's hyperparameters to adjust the tone of outputs. And importantly, your use of the Azure OpenAI service incorporates Microsoft's responsible AI approach that Scott mentioned earlier, including filtering and moderating the content of users' requests and responses to ensure that coding and language AI models are being used only for their intended purposes. This slide shows 3 simple examples of how the Azure OpenAI service allows you to generate content using the API. You can build prompts that ask it to generate text, database queries, or images. Now, where the real magic can happen is when you customize the Azure OpenAI with your business data. The Azure OpenAI API allows you to provide additional context about your problem domain. Of course, you could manually include all of this detail in every single prompt, but with the Azure OpenAI service, you can also set context that can apply to multiple prompts. Let's take that example from the previous slide where we asked Azure OpenAI Service to create a tagline for ice cream. But instead of just a generic tagline, let's also provide some additional meta-context about our business. That context includes more details on the ice cream company's unique product catalog, store locations in and around Phoenix, Arizona, and the strategic goal the company has to shift up market. We'll make sure that the agent's logic and reasoning are rigorous, intelligent, and defensible. We'll identify what data sources the agent can access to provide additional context, and we'll add some safety parameters. When we gave Azure OpenAI Service these parameters, we got a more customized response to the same prompt as before. It was scoops of heaven in the heart of Phoenix. And of course, you can optionally add additional parameters to the prompt. For example, you could ask the agent to avoid any religious or political references. Then when you provide the prompt again, you'll get a new response. This ability to feed additional meta-context and data is what takes AI to a whole new level and opens up a huge number of new business opportunities. Now, back to you, Scott.
Thanks, John. I want to close with 2 critical elements when it comes to trust. First, let's talk a little more about responsible AI. Core to Microsoft is our commitment to responsible AI. We're not just setting a standard for the industry, but we're also providing the tooling and capabilities for you to build responsible AI solutions right from the start. And we're using the same principles and tools to help build our own AI experiences. Our work on privacy and GDPR in particular taught us the importance of engineered systems and tools. It's not just good enough to have a standard, you really need the tools and the engineering systems to help make it easy for your teams to adopt it. Built into our Azure AI services are templates, dashboards, reports, and tools that you can use to debug AI models and understand AI decision-making and outcomes. This gives you the AI engineering system you need to build responsible AI into all of your own apps and services and make responsible AI part of the everyday way your data scientists and engineering teams work. As John mentioned, and as we talked about at the start of this talk, the key to unlocking the value of AI is data. You're going to be sharing a lot of data with AI, and the AI may learn and be trained on the data you provide. And this means you must absolutely trust your cloud provider. Let me expand on this a little and what this means in the context of our Azure AI platform and the commitments we make to you. When we say your data is your data, we mean that all of the data you use or generate with Azure OpenAI service is stored encrypted at rest in your organization's Azure subscription. The data is always under your control. And when we say that your data is not used to train foundational models, we mean that training data provided by a customer is only used to fine-tune a customer's model and is not used by Microsoft to train or improve any Microsoft-provided models. Any fine-tuning you do stays in your Azure subscription and never moves into the foundational AI models used by the world at large. You don't have to worry about training the model with your data and then having a competitor be able to use that learning. The fine-tuned model only lives in your subscription and only you get to use it. And all of your data and AI models are protected by the most comprehensive enterprise compliance and security controls in the industry. And this gives you the confidence to build great AI solutions on Azure and the Microsoft Cloud. I hope this overview has left you feeling inspired by the possibility of AI, as well as safe in the knowledge that Microsoft's providing a trusted and secure platform you can leverage. And to close us out with how customers are making this real each day, let me hand it over to Jessica Hawk. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Today we've talked about two things. First, we've showed you how we're building AI into the products and services you're already using each day. And second, we talked about how you can build your own intelligent applications and experiences with those same Azure AI capabilities. So let's look at how organizations can realize this potential today, even beyond the examples we've already seen. We've talked about GitHub Copilot, Intelligent Meeting Recap, and a lot more. But just take a look at how many AI-powered experiences are part of the Microsoft Cloud today. You're probably already using some of these capabilities. For example, each month in Microsoft Teams, Azure AI is transcribing over 54 million hours of meetings in real time and captions 6.8 million characters. Each day, people create up to 4.1 million PowerPoint slides using Designer. And customers are using these capabilities to drive real impact. One of my favorite stories recently is a construction company based in Austria, Strabag. They started with the Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform, getting their data estate connected and unified across decentralized sources. Once they built this, which they call the Data Science Hub, it opened up all kinds of opportunities. One of these opportunities came from applying the Azure OpenAI service to that data. And what they discovered was the model's capabilities to find risk. And in fact, after training with just 3 months of data, the model is able to predict risk with 80% accuracy. They call it mind-blowing. So let's take a look at one other example. But instead of having me say it, let's hear it from them.
Car buying is a big decision. It's the second largest thing a person will do after buying a home. CarMax disrupted the industry by bringing honesty and transparency. We have tens of thousands of cars on our website or through our app. And without talking to a human being, customers can get overwhelmed.
The challenge that we had was that we only could create so much content. There's manual effort, there's research, the writing, there's the proofreading.
Our writers can only produce so much content a month. It would have taken them years to produce enough pages to be relevant.
Azure OpenAI service allows us to summarize all of the custom reviews and put it in a simple to read and understandable sentence.
We're able to take content and feedback from a lot of other customers, curate it, and create this very tailored content for a specific car.
Through the fine-tuning process, we're at 80% of the content goes through without a human needing to be involved. We're estimating an individual would take 11 years to do what OpenAI service has done in days. We have seen a significant increase in our search engine optimization.
Now, the editorial team, they're able to focus their time on the areas most beneficial to the company and to our customers. There's so much possibility with OpenAI service. We're innovating at a scale, at a pace like never before. It's going to change everything we do.
My absolute favorite line from that video is where they talk about how if they had had to try to do this manually rather than with the systems, it would have taken 11 years to get done, and nobody wants that assignment. So hopefully, by this point, you're asking yourself, great, how do I get started? Let's walk through a few suggestions as potential starting points. First, getting AI ready means you've invested time to evaluate your data estate and are making the necessary moves to migrate your data to Azure. You can set up a briefing on the Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform and conduct a data estate assessment. With your data estate well managed, you'll want to explore intelligent app experiences with Azure AI. An AI workshop to identify use cases would be a benefit to unlocking competitive differentiation with your data. Now, we know developing applications can be time-consuming, but with GitHub Copilot, you can significantly increase developer productivity, as we heard earlier from Scott. Customers using GitHub Copilot are reporting again that their users are 55% faster. And who doesn't need more development teams today? Lastly, Viva Sales is an impactful tool to increase seller productivity, harnessing the power of generative AI to automatically create rich, customer-relevant content right inside Microsoft 365 apps your team is already using every day. So this is just the beginning of what the age of AI holds in store for us as we continue to pursue our vision to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. We're so excited, and we hope you are too. Thank you.